Have you ever realized that by the time we reach 70, we may have already lost up to 40% of our muscle without even noticing it? That silent loss speeds up after age 65. And here's the shocking part. Losing too much muscle increases the risk of disability by more than 300%, making it harder to walk, climb stairs, or even live independently. But here's the good news. This isn't something we have to accept as just aging. Many doctors don't always check for hidden nutrient deficiencies. Yet research shows about 78% of older adults are missing key vitamins and minerals that keep muscles strong. Imagine this. By simply giving your body the right building blocks, like vitamin D to protect your balance, B12 to keep your nerves sharp, magnesium to prevent cramps, or creatine to fuel your everyday movements, you can slow or even reverse muscle decline. I've seen older friends transform their energy and confidence just by paying attention to these small changes. And if you combine smart nutrition with gentle strength exercises, the results can be life-changing. Remember, aging doesn't mean weakness. It can mean strength, independence, and vitality. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching from, and what time is it right now? Drop your answer in the comments. I can't wait to see. We know muscle loss can steal our strength and independence. But here's the hopeful part. Science shows there are 6 powerful nutrients that can help slow it down, even reverse it. Think of them as your body's hidden allies, fueling energy, protecting balance, and keeping muscles strong. Let's uncover these 6 muscle savers together. The first nutrient on our list is coenzyme Q10, often called CoQ10. Think of it as the spark plug inside your muscles. More than 95% of your body's energy is made with the help of this little molecule working inside the mitochondria, the tiny power plants of your cells. But here's the problem. As we age, our natural levels of CoQ10 can drop by as much as 65%. And when that happens, we often feel it. More weakness, more fatigue, and less stamina for the things we love. It gets even trickier if you're taking statins, the common cholesterol-lowering drugs. While they help protect your heart, they also lower CoQ10. In fact, studies show that more than 60% of people on statins report muscle pain or weakness, and missing CoQ10 is a big reason why. Now, you can find small amounts of CoQ10 in foods like meat and fish, but it's usually not enough to make a real difference. That's why many experts recommend 100 to 200 milligrams per day, or up to 300 milligrams if you're on statins. And if you're thinking of supplements, look for ones with better absorption, such as ubiquinol or formulas that include piperine or water-soluble versions. The second powerhouse nutrient we need to talk about is vitamin D, often called the sunshine vitamin. What many people don't realize is that vitamin D isn't just about strong bones. It actually has receptors inside your muscles, meaning your muscles literally listen to vitamin D to stay strong, coordinated, and balanced. When levels are too low, muscles become weaker, smaller, and slower to respond because they can't use calcium properly. And when that happens, the risk of falling shoots up. Here's a real example. A large study in India looked at older adults, and despite the fact that India is a sunny country, more than 40% of seniors were deficient in vitamin D. Why? Because many people spent their days indoors, avoided sunlight, or covered up with clothing. The result was striking. Seniors with low vitamin D had more muscle weakness, poorer balance, and a much higher risk of falls. But when vitamin D supplements were introduced, the rate of falls dropped by nearly 20%. That's not just a statistic. That's hundreds of people avoiding broken bones, hospital stays, and loss of independence. Now, here's the hopeful part. Vitamin D is simple to support. Experts usually recommend at least 800 to 1,000 IU per day, but many specialists now say 1,000 to 2,000 IU is even better, especially for older adults. And the best form is vitamin D3. It's the most natural and effective. You can get it from sunlight, but if that's not possible, good food sources include fatty fish like salmon or mackerel, eggs, and fortified foods. And if diet alone isn't enough, supplements are widely available. Soft gels, drops, or sprays of vitamin D3 are easy to take and can make a life-changing difference. I'll share with you a personal story. An elderly woman from Mumbai once said she couldn't walk more than a few steps without feeling tired and shaky. Her family assumed it was just old age catching up. But after a doctor tested her, they found her vitamin D levels were critically low. She began taking a daily D3 supplement, and within a few months, she noticed something powerful. Her legs felt stronger, her balance was steadier, and for the first time in years, she felt confident walking outside without fear of falling. That's the power of this sunshine vitamin. It's not about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. Simple, affordable, and so often overlooked. Now, let's move to the third essential nutrient, vitamin B12. If vitamin D is about balance and strength, then vitamin B12 is about keeping your nerves and muscles in sync. As we get older, our ability to absorb B12 drops sharply. And when levels run low, the signs often show up in surprising ways: shaky hands, unsteady walking, clumsy movements, even fatigue from anemia because the muscles aren't getting enough oxygen. Vitamin B12 is sometimes called the energy vitamin, and for good reason. It's absolutely critical for healthy nerve function and for making red blood cells, which carry oxygen to your muscles. But here's the catch. As we age, the stomach produces less acid, making it harder to absorb B12 from food. In fact, studies show that around 30% of adults over 50 develop atrophic gastritis, a thinning of the stomach lining that blocks B12 absorption. That means even if you're eating plenty of meat, eggs, or dairy, your body might still not be getting enough B12. And without it, the communication lines between your brain, nerves, and muscles start to break down. This is why deficiency can look like trembling hands, trouble buttoning a shirt, slower reflexes, or an unsteady walk. Some people even feel numbness or tingling in their feet, which makes it much easier to stumble and fall. Now, here's where it gets even more important. Certain common medications can make the problem worse. If you're taking metformin for diabetes or proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, both can significantly reduce B12 absorption. And most people don't realize it until symptoms appear. That's why regular testing for B12 levels is so valuable, especially after age 60. So how much do we actually need? The official daily recommendation is 2.4 micrograms. But here's the truth. Many older adults need more because of absorption issues. That's why doctors often recommend higher doses or different delivery methods. Instead of swallowing pills, B12 can be taken as methylcobalamin lozenges under the tongue or sprays, which bypass the stomach and absorb directly. Some supplements even include enzymes or probiotics to help with uptake. Let me share a story that really touched me. In New Delhi, there was a retired teacher named Mr. Rao in his late 70s. He had always been active, loved reading, and enjoyed walking to the market. But over time, his family noticed he started shuffling his feet, struggling to carry his groceries, and occasionally stumbling. At first, they thought it was just normal aging, but when he began forgetting words and feeling unusually tired, his daughter insisted on a medical checkup. The results were surprising. His vitamin B12 levels were extremely low. He wasn't absorbing enough from his diet, and years of using acid reflux medication had made it worse. His doctor immediately recommended high-dose B12 supplements in the form of sublingual drops. Within a few months, the changes were remarkable. His energy returned, his walking became steadier, and even his mood improved. Mr. Rao later said it felt like a fog lifting, both in his body and mind. This story is powerful because it shows how something so small, just one vitamin, can make the difference between decline and vitality. And it's a reminder that what we often dismiss as just getting old can actually be preventable with the right support. So, if you or someone you love is experiencing unexplained weakness, clumsiness, or fatigue, don't ignore it. It might not just be age, it could be vitamin B12 deficiency. A simple blood test and the right supplement can restore energy, protect your nerves, and keep your muscles working the way they should. Remember, aging doesn't have to mean losing control of your body. With nutrients like B12, you can stay sharp, strong, and independent much longer than you think. Now, let's talk about the fourth key nutrient, vitamin C. Most of us know it as the immune vitamin, the one people take when they catch a cold. But in reality, vitamin C is also a muscle protector. Without enough of it, our muscles lose one of their strongest allies, collagen. Vitamin C does something remarkable in the body. It helps build collagen, the protein that acts like scaffolding for your muscles, tendons, and even the fascia that holds everything together. Think of collagen as the framework that keeps your muscles firm and functional. Without it, muscles can weaken, lose elasticity, and become more prone to injury. But vitamin C doesn't stop there. It's also one of the body's strongest antioxidants, which means it protects your muscles from free radical damage, the little sparks of stress your cells produce every day. And there's more. Vitamin C is essential for making carnitine, the molecule that helps your body burn fat for energy. Without it, your muscles simply don't get the fuel they need. Research has shown that older adults with higher vitamin C levels tend to have stronger grip strength and better overall muscle function. That's why this vitamin is often called a functional nutrient, because its benefits show up in the way we move and live day to day. Here's the problem. Many seniors don't get enough vitamin C from their diet. Over time, low intake can contribute to subtle but real declines in strength, balance, and recovery after even minor injuries. The recommended intake is 75 milligrams per day for women and 90 milligrams for men. But many experts suggest aiming higher, around 200 to 400 milligrams per day for optimal muscle protection. Now, let me share a story that shows just how powerful this nutrient can be. In Kerala, India, there was a 68-year-old grandmother named Lakshmi. She loved cooking for her family but had started struggling with fatigue and weakness in her hands. Even peeling vegetables felt difficult and her grip strength was fading. Her doctor tested her vitamin levels and found she was low in vitamin C. Lakshmi's diet was mainly rice and lentils, with very few fresh fruits or vegetables, especially during the rainy season when produce was scarce. The doctor encouraged her to start adding more citrus fruits, tomatoes, and green chilies to her meals, along with a small daily vitamin C supplement. Within just a few months, Lakshmi noticed a real difference. Her hands felt stronger, her recovery after household chores was faster, and she even felt more energetic during her morning walks. What's more, her skin looked healthier and brighter, which made her smile and say, "I feel younger, inside and out." This simple change gave Lakshmi back her confidence. She realized it wasn't just about looking after her health. It was about staying connected to her role in the family and community. That's the beauty of vitamin C. It's not expensive, it's easy to find, and yet it plays a role in so many vital processes: muscle strength, energy production, tissue repair, and even protecting the heart and blood vessels. And because the body doesn't store it, we need to replenish it daily through fresh foods like oranges, strawberries, bell peppers, tomatoes, broccoli, and even potatoes. For those who want extra support, supplements are widely available. Look for formulas that include bioflavonoids, plant compounds that boost vitamin C's power, or liposomal forms that improve absorption. The takeaway is simple. Don't underestimate this humble vitamin. By giving your muscles the collagen, energy, and protection they need, vitamin C helps keep you moving with strength and confidence, no matter your age. Our fifth nutrient is one that often flies under the radar: magnesium. Many people think of calcium when it comes to bones and muscles, but magnesium is just as important. In fact, without enough magnesium, your muscles can't contract and relax properly. Magnesium is sometimes called the calming mineral, and it plays a huge role in keeping muscles working smoothly. Here's why. Every time your muscle contracts, calcium rushes in to spark the movement. But to release and relax, your muscles need magnesium. Without it, the result can be cramps, stiffness, and even painful spasms. And here's something most people don't realize. Magnesium also supports protein synthesis, the process your body uses to actually build and repair muscle fibers. So even a mild deficiency can slow down muscle recovery and make you feel weaker over time. The problem is widespread. Research shows that more than 60% of older adults don't get enough magnesium from food alone. Medications like diuretics for blood pressure and proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux can lower magnesium levels even further. The result? Fatigue, weakness, muscle twitches, and sometimes even confusion or heart rhythm changes. The daily recommended intake is about 320 milligrams for women and 420 milligrams for men. But because many foods have lost mineral content due to modern farming, and because absorption declines with age, supplementation is often needed. The best forms are magnesium glycinate or citrate, which are gentle on the stomach and well absorbed. Now, let me share a story that really shows the difference magnesium can make. In Chennai, there was a retired factory worker named Arjun, age 72. For years, he struggled with painful nighttime leg cramps. Almost every evening, he would wake up clutching his calves in agony. His doctor initially thought it was dehydration or circulation issues, but drinking more water didn't solve the problem. Walking became harder, and he started avoiding evening outings with friends because he was afraid a cramp would strike. Finally, during a routine checkup, his physician decided to check his mineral levels. The test revealed that Arjun's magnesium was far below normal. The doctor recommended adding more magnesium-rich foods to his diet, like spinach, pumpkin seeds, and whole grains, along with a daily magnesium glycinate supplement. Within weeks, the cramps became less frequent. After 3 months, they nearly disappeared. Arjun described the relief with a smile. "For the first time in years, I can sleep through the night without pain." And because his muscles recovered better, he even started taking short morning walks again, something he thought he had lost forever. This story highlights something important. Sometimes the struggles we blame on just getting old are actually signs of nutrient gaps. Magnesium may not be flashy, but it's like the silent partner that keeps your muscles, nerves, and energy systems running smoothly. Food sources are a great starting point: leafy greens, nuts, seeds, beans, and whole grains. But if cramps, stiffness, or fatigue are constant companions, supplementation can make a life-changing difference. And here's one more bonus. Magnesium also supports better sleep and a calmer mind. Many people find that taking it in the evening helps them rest deeper, which in turn allows the body to repair muscles more effectively overnight. The bottom line? Don't ignore this quiet hero. By giving your body enough magnesium, you're not just preventing cramps, you're rebuilding strength, protecting your heart, and giving yourself the freedom to move without fear. Finally, we arrive at the sixth powerhouse nutrient, creatine. Now, you might have heard of creatine as something athletes and bodybuilders use to bulk up. But here's the truth. Creatine is not just for the young or for the gym. For older adults, it can be one of the most powerful tools to preserve independence, energy, and confidence. Creatine works like a backup battery for your muscles. Every time you stand up from a chair, climb a staircase, or catch yourself from stumbling, your body uses ATP, the energy currency of your cells. But ATP runs out quickly. That's where creatine steps in. It helps replenish ATP almost instantly, giving your muscles the fuel they need for those fast, everyday bursts of movement. As we age, our natural creatine levels decline, and our muscle cells become less efficient at storing energy. That's why simple activities like rising from bed, lifting groceries, or walking uphill begin to feel harder. But research has shown something remarkable. When older adults supplement with creatine, their muscles regain energy, strength, and resilience. In fact, studies reveal that when seniors combined creatine with gentle resistance exercise for just 12 weeks, they gained about 14% more strength and added nearly 1 kilogram of lean muscle mass. That might sound small, but in real life, it can be the difference between walking confidently or needing assistance. Here's something even more fascinating. Creatine doesn't just fuel muscles. It also stimulates satellite cells, specialized stem cells that repair and rebuild muscle fibers. Unfortunately, these cells become about 50% less active after age 60, which is one reason muscle recovery slows down. Creatine helps wake them back up, supporting muscle growth and repair, even in later years. And if that wasn't enough, researchers are also finding that creatine supports brain health. Because just like muscles, your brain uses ATP for quick reactions, memory, and focus. So by improving energy production, creatine can help with mental sharpness as well. Let me share a story that brings this to life. In Bangalore, there was a 74-year-old man named Mr. Iyer. A retired engineer, he loved tinkering in his workshop and fixing things around the house. But over time, he noticed he could no longer stand from a low chair without struggling, and carrying tools upstairs left him winded. He became nervous about going out alone, fearing he might trip on the steps near his home. His son, who was into fitness, suggested trying creatine, not as a bodybuilding aid, but as a way to restore daily energy. At first, Mr. Iyer was skeptical. "Isn't that for gym goers?" he asked. But after reading more about its safety and benefits in older adults, he decided to try a small daily dose of 3 to 5 grams of creatine monohydrate. The results were life-changing. Within a month, he felt stronger and more stable on his feet. By the 3rd month, he was climbing stairs without holding the railing and even carrying groceries with ease. Perhaps most importantly, his confidence returned. "I no longer fear falling," he said. "I feel like myself again." This transformation didn't require expensive treatments or exhausting workouts, just the right nutrient at the right time. Now, some people wonder if creatine is safe. The good news is that creatine is one of the most studied supplements in the world, with over 200 clinical trials showing its safety for long-term use, even in seniors. It doesn't damage the kidneys when taken at the recommended dose, and it has additional benefits for bone density and cognitive health. While creatine is found naturally in foods like red meat and fish, the amount is far too low to reach therapeutic levels. That's why supplementation is key. Look for micronized creatine monohydrate, which dissolves better in water and is easier to absorb. And remember, you don't need a loading phase like athletes sometimes do. Just a steady daily dose of 3 to 5 grams is enough. The beauty of creatine is that it helps restore something priceless, the ability to move freely. Standing up without effort, walking without fear, reacting quickly if you trip, these are the small freedoms that add up to a big quality of life. So when we think about aging gracefully, creatine reminds us that it's not about looking younger, it's about living stronger. It's about keeping the energy to play with grandchildren, to garden, to travel, to enjoy life without limitations. The lesson here is simple. Don't let outdated myths keep you from using a nutrient that could transform your daily life. For many older adults, creatine isn't just a supplement, it's a lifeline to independence. Now that we've explored all 6 powerhouse nutrients, you might be wondering, how do I actually put this into practice? After all, knowledge is only powerful when it turns into daily habits. So let's look at some simple but life-changing tips that can help you safely and effectively use these nutrients to protect your muscles and your independence. The first and most important reminder is this: always test, don't guess. Many nutrient deficiencies like vitamin D, B12, and magnesium are nearly invisible until the symptoms become severe. That's why routine blood tests are so valuable, especially as we age. A simple check can reveal whether you're running low and help you and your doctor decide the right dose for your body. Remember, supplements work best when they're targeted. Second, never forget the foundation. Whole foods first. Supplements are powerful allies, but they should support, not replace, a balanced diet. Fresh vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, nuts, seeds, and whole grains provide not just the key nutrients we've talked about, but also hundreds of other plant compounds that work together to keep your body strong. Think of supplements as tools to fill the gaps while food remains the main building block. Third, be mindful of medications. As we discussed, common drugs like statins, metformin, diuretics, and acid blockers can lower levels of vital nutrients. If you're on long-term medication, it's worth talking with your healthcare provider about whether you need extra nutritional support. For example, if you're taking statins, you'll almost certainly need more CoQ10. If you're on metformin, B12 should be on your radar. Fourth, pay attention to absorption. Not all supplements are created equal. Some forms are easier for the body to use, like vitamin D3 instead of D2, magnesium glycinate instead of oxide, or methylcobalamin instead of standard B12. Choosing the right form can make the difference between just swallowing a pill and actually feeling the benefits in your body. Fifth, combine nutrients with movement. Research is crystal clear. Nutrients alone can help, but when you pair them with gentle resistance exercise, like lifting light weights, using resistance bands, or even doing chair exercises, the benefits multiply. Your muscles get both the building blocks and the stimulus they need to stay strong. Think of it like watering a plant and also giving it sunlight. You need both for it to thrive. And finally, remember that consistency is everything. A single supplement won't work overnight, just like one workout doesn't build a muscle. But taken daily, over weeks and months, these small choices add up to powerful results. That's when you notice you're walking more confidently, sleeping more soundly, and living more fully. Let me share a quick example. A community health project in Kerala introduced older adults to a simple routine: regular vitamin D testing, daily magnesium-rich foods, a B12 supplement for those on metformin, and twice-weekly strength sessions using resistance bands. After just 6 months, the group reported fewer falls, better energy, and even improved mood. One participant said, "For the first time in years, I don't feel like my body is failing me. I feel like it's supporting me." That's the message I want to leave you with. muscle loss is not inevitable. By combining smart nutrition, regular checkups, and simple movement, you can stay stronger, steadier, and more independent than you might have imagined. So, as you think about your own health, ask yourself, which of these nutrients might I be missing? And what small step can I take today to support my muscles for tomorrow? We've talked about nutrients, the powerful building blocks that keep our muscles alive and strong. But here's the truth, nutrition alone isn't the whole story. To truly protect our strength as we age, we need to support our muscles with daily lifestyle choices. Think of it as creating the perfect environment where your body can thrive. First, let's talk about movement. Muscles love to be used. Even simple activities, like walking around the block, climbing a few stairs, or doing gentle resistance band exercises, signal your muscles to stay strong. One of the most effective moves? Just practicing standing up from a chair without using your hands. It may seem small, but it trains the exact muscles that keep you independent. Second, never underestimate rest. Your muscles repair and grow stronger while you sleep, not while you're awake. Poor sleep steals your energy and slows recovery. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality rest, and you'll notice not just stronger muscles, but a sharper mind and brighter mood. Third, stress management matters more than people think. Chronic stress increases cortisol, a hormone that actually breaks down muscle. Simple practices like deep breathing, meditation, or even sitting in the garden with a cup of tea can calm your body and protect your strength. Fourth, stay hydrated. Dehydration is a hidden enemy. It causes cramps, stiffness, and fatigue. Keep a water bottle nearby and sip throughout the day. It sounds simple, but it keeps your muscles flexible and energized. And finally, don't forget the power of connection. Joining a walking group, a senior fitness class, or even just exercising with a friend makes the journey more joyful. Social connection not only motivates us to move, but it also lifts our mood and keeps loneliness away. Let me share a quick story. In Pune, India, there's an 82-year-old woman named Meera. Every morning, she joins her neighbors in the park for light stretches, laughter, and a short walk. She says those gatherings give her more than exercise. They give her energy, happiness, and the courage to keep moving. Her doctor once told her, "You're stronger than many people 20 years younger." Meera smiled and said, "It's not just the vitamins, it's the living." That's the lesson. Nutrition fuels the body, but lifestyle shapes how that fuel is used. When you combine both, you don't just slow muscle loss, you build a life filled with vitality, freedom, and joy. Before we move into the final message, I want to share with you a story. A story that proves it's never too late to take back your strength, no matter your age. This is the story of Mrs. Asha, an 82-year-old grandmother from Pune, India. For most of her life, Asha was an active woman. She raised 3 children, cared for her home, and loved tending to her small garden filled with jasmine and tulsi plants. But in her late 70s, things began to change. At first, it was subtle. Climbing the stairs left her out of breath, her hands trembled when she tried to chop vegetables, and she found herself sitting down more often than moving around. Over time, her legs grew weaker, and one day she stumbled while carrying laundry. The fall wasn't serious, but it shook her confidence. For the first time, she feared she might lose her independence. Her children suggested a wheelchair for safety, but inside, Asha felt heartbroken. She remembered her own mother, who spent her last years confined to a bed, unable to move freely. "I don't want to live like that," she whispered to her daughter. That moment became a turning point. With her family's support, Asha visited a doctor who specialized in geriatric care. The doctor explained that much of her weakness was not just old age, but muscle loss made worse by nutrient deficiencies. Her vitamin D was very low, her B12 was borderline deficient, and she lacked magnesium. The doctor reassured her, "Your muscles still remember how to be strong. We just need to give them the right support." So Asha began her journey. Every morning, she started her day with sunlight on her balcony, soaking up natural vitamin D. Her meals were adjusted to include colorful fruits and vegetables rich in vitamin C, along with fish and eggs for protein and B12. She began taking supplements, vitamin D3 drops, a small B12 lozenge under her tongue, and magnesium glycinate in the evenings to help her relax and sleep. But there was more. Twice a week, her granddaughter helped her with simple resistance band exercises, just gentle movements to strengthen her arms and legs. At first, Asha laughed nervously. "This is for young people, not me." But with encouragement, she stuck with it. Slowly, things changed. Within 2 months, Asha noticed she could rise from her chair without struggling. Her grip strength improved. She could once again knead dough for chapati, something she had missed dearly. The tremors in her hands lessened and her balance grew steadier. By 6 months, she was walking to the park every evening, chatting with friends, and even joining a senior yoga class. Her neighbors began asking, "What's your secret?" She would smile and say, "It's not a secret. It's giving my body the food, nutrients, and movement it was waiting for." Today, at 82, Asha says she feels stronger than she did at 70. She still takes her supplements faithfully, still practices her morning stretches, and still tends to her beloved garden. But more importantly, she regained something priceless: her confidence, her independence, and her joy in living. Asha's story reminds us of something powerful. Age may bring challenges, but it also brings wisdom and resilience. Our bodies are capable of healing and strengthening at any stage of life, if we give them what they need. Maybe you see yourself in her journey. Maybe you've felt weaker lately, or you're afraid of falling, or you've lost confidence in daily tasks you once did with ease. Remember this: like Asha, you can take back control. With the right nutrients, simple exercise, and small lifestyle changes, you can write a new chapter, one filled with strength, independence, and hope. It's never too late. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. So as we move into the final part of this video, carry Asha's story with you. Let it remind you that muscle loss is not the end of the story. It can be the beginning of a transformation. And that transformation can start right now with one choice, one habit, one step at a time. We've come a long way together in this journey. We began with a hard truth. By the time we reach 70, many of us may have already lost nearly 40% of our muscle mass, and that silent decline can steal away independence, energy, and confidence. But we've also seen that this loss is not inevitable. Aging may change our bodies, but it doesn't have to define our strength. We discovered 6 powerful nutrients: CoQ10, vitamin D, vitamin B12, vitamin C, magnesium, and creatine. Each one plays a unique role, like members of a team. CoQ10 fuels your cells with energy. Vitamin D keeps your balance steady and your bones strong. B12 sharpens your nerves and protects your muscles from weakness. Vitamin C builds the collagen scaffolding that holds your body together. Magnesium keeps your muscles from cramping and supports recovery. And creatine restores the quick energy you need for everyday movements, standing up, climbing stairs, or catching yourself from a fall. But nutrients are only part of the picture. We also talked about the practical notes: testing, choosing the right forms, and combining supplements with a healthy, whole food diet. And we looked at lifestyle choices: movement, sleep, stress management, hydration, and social connection. Because true strength doesn't come from one habit. It comes from the harmony of many small steps, practiced daily. Think about the stories we heard: Lakshmi from Kerala regaining grip strength with vitamin C, Mr. Rao in Delhi walking steadier with B12, Arjun in Chennai finally sleeping without cramps after adding magnesium, Mr. Iyer in Bangalore reclaiming his independence with creatine. These are not just medical cases. They're real people proving that age doesn't have to mean decline. And maybe you see a piece of yourself in their stories. Maybe you've felt more tired lately or noticed your balance isn't what it used to be. Maybe you've brushed it off, thinking, "This is just what happens when we get old." But today, you've learned that it doesn't have to be that way. With the right nutrients, with small but consistent lifestyle changes, you can rebuild strength, energy, and confidence at any age. So here's my challenge to you. Take one step. Maybe it's asking your doctor to test your vitamin D or B12. Maybe it's adding a short daily walk or choosing one more serving of vegetables. Maybe it's simply drinking more water or calling a friend to exercise together. Start small, but start today, because every small action builds toward a stronger tomorrow. And the greatest gift you can give yourself and your loved ones is not just more years, but more life in those years. Aging is not the end of strength. It can be the beginning of wisdom, resilience, and vitality. Your body still has the power to surprise you, to support you, and to carry you through the moments that matter most. So let's honor it, let's fuel it, let's move it, and let's remember, staying strong isn't about being young again. It's about staying you, fully, for as long as possible. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching from and what time is it right now? Drop your answer in the comments below. I can't wait to see our community come together from around the world.